Hey folks, how you doing? Hope everyone is staying healthy, staying safe. These are crazy times, and the best we can do is talk music and keep our spirits up. So in this video I'm going to show some vinyl. I have not a big stack in this video. Like everybody else, most of the stores in my area are closed with the exception of a couple. I managed to visit a couple of stores and get a small stack of records and pulled some cool stuff, so I want to show that to you now. So here we go. The first is from the Psychedelic Furs, Forever Now is the name of the album. This is a reissue. It's a used copy of a reissue. I actually have I wouldn't say the original pressing, but an older used pressing of this album. But saw this, and I remember this was reissued in different colors on the cover there, so this is the color I pulled. And thought it was a cool find, so I thought I'd go ahead and grab it. Here's the insert here. There we go, there's the vinyl record. Really cool album from the Furs, and it actually came with a poster, and the poster is just the album artwork, like so. So there we go. You know, cool. Always cool when these records come with posters. I never hang them or anything. I just keep them along with the record, just as a whole package thing. But this is obviously this is a classic album. Or at least I consider it a classic album because it has "Love My Way" and President Gas, which are some of my favorite Psychedelic Furs songs, but the whole album is a really fun listen, really cool listen. I love throwing this on and just chilling, having a chill moment, let it play in the background. Very fun record. I heard the Psychedelic Furs have a new album out, and I haven't had a chance to listen to the album online yet, but I hear good things about it, and it would be cool to check it out, so I'm definitely going to check it out. Hopefully I'll see the record in a store one day and buy it if I like it. But anyway, love this album. Really cool record from the Furs. My memories of the Furs, a few years back, like 3 or 4 years ago, I saw them in concert. They were doing a double bill with the band The Church, and that was a great night of music. It was my first time seeing both bands live, and both bands just really played well, and it was a great night of music. And I was thinking about that show as I was listening to this record, and I just thought, this is back in the day when it was okay to go to concerts, and now that just going to a concert with tons of people in attendance in a nice venue, it seems like I was able to do that a whole lifetime ago compared to how things are now. Man, I can't believe how drastically everything has changed. A little depressing if you think about it, but yeah, I remember The Church and the Psychedelic Furs, both bands sounded great, and that was a great night of music. It's one of those nights where you were glad to attend concerts, and I missed that so much. And I was thinking about that while I was spinning this record the first time I saw them. Really great. So we got a live recording here to remind us how great concerts were. This is Otis Redding in person, live at the Whiskey A Go-Go. I don't have any Otis Redding in my collection. This will make the only album. And what a cool record this is. A great live recording. Of course I know the songs on here because plays a lot of classic songs on here, like I Can't Turn You Loose, Mr. Pitiful, and he actually does a Rolling Stones cover, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, which he does a great job, him and his band do a great job of. This is a reissue also, I think came out in 2003, I believe, on the Sundays label. In fact, here's the record label here. Really cool live performance. Captured very well on this reissued vinyl. It would be cool to get an original of this, but I bet you that's real expensive. But I have this, and I'm happy with it. I love it. Great live performance. Very energetic performer. but this is a VC. You guys probably know that already. But I'm real happy to have this album. I've already spun it a few times, and it's fun to listen to this. I have a great time listening to this, and definitely will get more of his albums as I do other digs, but this was a great place to start, at least for me anyway. I'm sure the records will get better as I hunt them down, but this was a really cool album and a great live performance. He was such an energetic performer, Otis Redding. Great voice too, so I bet you this, to actually go back in time, actually see this show at the Whiskey A Go-Go must have been a big treat. And oh man, what a show he put on, from the sound of it coming off this record. Incredible. So real glad I scored that. Another record I was hoping to score, and found a nice decent used copies from the Edgar, let's try that again, the Edgar Winter Group. They only come out at night, and you could see why. This is a gatefold, so really cool photos in the gatefold. There's a whole band photo in the back cover. Basically, I wanted this album for the two songs, Frankenstein and Free Ride. Free Ride is definitely my favorite song from this band. I do love Frankenstein too, though, but Free Ride is such a catchy tune. There's the label on it, real old school epic label. Free Ride has always been one of my favorite kind of older classic rock songs. Absolutely dig that song. It's still played on classic rock radio around here, and every time I hear that song I turn it up, and I never change the station. I never get tired of Free Ride. It's just almost like, always when I say Free Ride, I gotta force myself not to say Free Will, the Rush song. For some reason I get the two names confused, but Free Ride has always been one of my favorite classic rock songs. Absolutely love that tune. So it's nice to actually have a vinyl copy of it finally. And what I didn't know until I started reading like all the credits on here, the Free Ride was written by Dan Hartman, who's the bass player of the band. There he is right there, this guy. And in the 80s, Dan Hartman would have a hit of his own from the soundtrack from the movie Streets of Fire, I Can Dream About You. It's that Dan Hartman. And he was once rocking the bass for the Edgar Winter Group. So really fun fact I learned just by digging through the credits on here. I was like, oh, that Dan Hartman, huh? Ronnie Montrose is actually on this record too. That's this guy right here, playing guitar on this album. So besides the two songs, this is actually a really good album. I actually enjoyed the entire record. It is definitely a fun listen. This must have been the shit back in 1972 or 73 whenever it was released. This had to be a killer album back then. Just some great songs. They sound like one hell of a band. And Edgar Winter, of course, you know, every song, by the time you get 3 or 4 minutes into a song, he's damn near played 3 instruments already: saxophone, keyboards, percussion. That's how talented that dude was. But really good album, especially the two songs that I love, Frankenstein and Free Ride. They sound great on this album, but this whole album sounds really good. Definitely gets a lot of listens from me. Alright, a couple of albums from Chicago. My complaint about Chicago is they never name their records. They just sort of, they're all called Chicago. Some of them are numbered, some of them aren't. But these are the 2 records I scored from Chicago, and hopefully you recognize the covers because there's really no name. Some of them are numbered. I think this is Chicago 8, this one right here, and if I could find the spine, this is Chicago 5, I believe. So there we go. This one I think I already had in my collection, but what's great about this copy is it came with all the posters and whatnot. So my other one just came with the book. I don't even think my other one was a gatefold, but this one came with the posters, and a big poster too. Look at that. Really, really cool. Look at that. Nice. I never knew this album came with a poster, so when I saw this in the record store, I was going to pass on it because I knew I had this record already, but it came with all this cool extra stuff that just made me want to get it and just check my old copy. This is just a fold out showing each individual band member, just to give you an idea. And it's a long fold out, see, it's hard for me to even hold it up together. So, but damn, there was too many people in this band. I can't even put them all in one frame. So there we go. So it came with all these cool extra posters and photographs, which really made this an interesting album to collect. Really happy to put in the Chicago collection because like I said, my older copies didn't have all that. And wow, stunning gatefold, ain't it? And then, of course, this is the insert. Again, just absolutely beautiful artwork, ain't it? Same with the label, but at least the label has the name of the songs on it. And actually, this is this record's in great condition considering it's used and it's as old as it is. Really in good condition, plays very well, sounds fantastic. This is a killer album, but Chicago is a killer band. I remember being a kid in the 70s, a little boy in the 70s. Chicago was one of those bands when they released an album back in the day. It was a big deal. People loved this band, and whenever they were in concert, that was a must go. I remember hearing rock radio stations back in the day when Chicago was either in San Francisco or Sacramento, whatever. It was a big deal. It was like the Beatles came to town or something. It was people made a big deal about Chicago back in the day. This record also came, I think, with a poster. Yeah, it did. It came with a poster. And basically it's the gatefold artwork blown up into a bigger image. But not bad. Not bad. Hopefully you could, yeah, there we go. I didn't want to get too much glare on there, but that's the poster that came with this record. I'm really happy to find one with a poster, and this was really cool. It actually came with an iron-on an iron-on decal. I don't know if you could see that, but it's made to look like the album artwork there. This image here. You remember iron-ons? You would get a regular T-shirt like so, put the decal on, and just carefully go over this with an iron, real hot iron, and voila, you instantly have a Chicago rock T-shirt. So this one came with the iron-on. I'm keeping this with all the other stuff on the album. Really cool. And this is the album insert here. Very nice. And it's cool to find Chicago records with all this extra stuff in it. The poster, the iron-on decal to make a T-shirt. Really, really nice. These two were great additions to my Chicago collection. Just for that old, seeing that iron-on decal really took me back, because I remember I used to collect a few of those. I remember I had a Superman one when the first Superman movie came out with Christopher Reeve. I don't remember where I got it. I don't know if it was included in a cereal box as a prize or something like that. But I remember I had a Superman iron-on decal. I put on one of my white T-shirts, and I thought that was cool as hell. You know, us kids in the 70s, it didn't take much to amuse us. This is obviously before the advent of phones, cellular phones, smartphones. Just a simple iron-on decal really amused the hell out of us. So, but that takes me back seeing that kind of thing, and it made finding this record really cool. I mean, yeah, the music's great on it too, but to find the posters and the iron-on, it was really nice. So, two big additions to the Chicago collection. Very happy to have those in my collection. Very nice. A couple from ABBA. This one is just the self-titled ABBA album. I believe this is a Canadian, first pressing, Canadian pressing, first press. So really a Canadian OG of this album, which is the self-titled. The big song on here was SOS. I remember that was that's a great song. That's one of my favorite ABBA songs, is SOS. Mamma Mia is on here also. Really good album. And I got a compilation called The Magic of ABBA, not Elba, ABBA. Boy, I'm getting tongue-tied in this video. The Magic of ABBA. Once again, another ABBA compilation. And unfortunately, the gatefold's a little bit damaged right here. We got a little bit of damage here in the bottom of the gatefold, but you can still see some interesting pictures here. So really nice. And look at that song list. Hey, good Lord. Look how many songs just are on side one alone. But ABBA had so many hits back in the 70s and early 80s. And the funny thing that strikes me about ABBA is, you know, this time last year, I really didn't care about ABBA. There's the label. There we go, for this compilation, The Magic of ABBA. Yeah, this time last year, I really didn't care about ABBA. They were just some band I remember from the 70s that were always on the radio, and I saw them on TV a few times when I was a kid back in the 70s. I knew the girls their voices always sounded great. Everybody knows that. But I didn't really think much of them, other than that. I remember Dancing Queen, but it was disco, and I really wasn't into it, to tell you the truth. And then, you know, I was briefly dating this girl who was my age, who was a fan of it, and she bought one of their best of CDs and was playing it around me. And I just, besides the songs that I recognized, the other songs that I wasn't that familiar with, I thought were really good. And I found myself really humming along with those songs and really getting hooked by them. And before I knew it, I became a big ABBA fan. I started collecting my own ABBA albums, and now I got all of them. Except for Ring Ring. They have an album called Ring Ring. I don't have that one yet, but I got a lot of ABBA vinyl now since then. And on this one right here, I have the Back on Black reissue, which sounds great. And it has all the original artwork, and the vinyl sounds fantastic. But I remember I always wanted a used copy looked like it was actually from the 70s. And now I have it, and I'm really glad. This is what I originally wanted in the first place, was, you know, an OG used copy from the 70s, and that's what this is. Not that, you know, like I said, the remaster sounds great and all. It does sound good, but I'm real happy to have something from the 70s. I really love this, and this is a great album. Really good album. It has Rock Me on it, So Long, Hey Hey Helen, like I said, SOS and Mamma Mia are like the big popular songs on here. So really good album from ABBA. And yeah, and now I have a growing ABBA collection, which is funny. Like I said, this time last year, I would have went right past all the ABBA albums and never gave it the time of day. Now it's like something I always check on when I go to record stores. Amazing. Amazing. Anyway, real good ABBA editions, so real glad to have that. Alright, the last record is from Stanley Clarke. It is School Days. I could have swore I had this album before, and now I can't find it. I know I had it. I bought a used copy of this years ago and loved it, and this is a great album. Some very cool instrumentals are on this record. I enjoy this to death. But for the life of me, I can't find my old copy. I went through my jazz section, which is not very big, and just couldn't come up with this. I know it's going to turn up somewhere, and now I'll have two copies, but I was really in the mood to listen to this, and since I have no idea what I do with my original album, or my first copy of this, I went and bought this record, and this is a UK pressing of the album, which actually I like this pressing better than the one I owned. Mine was just a real cheap used domestic copy, and this one's the UK pressing, which has this cool colored label, purple on one side, blue on the other side. Really nice. Yeah, I like this copy, this version, this pressing better, so I'll stick with this one. If the other one turns up, it's going into this stack of records to be traded. And so, but like I said, great album. Some really cool instrumentals on here. I love putting this one on the turntable and just chilling out with it. It's a great album to kick back with. Stress just goes away when I listen to this record. I like it. I love it. And one of my favorite instrumental records to have. Stanley Clarke, School Days. Just a great album to have in the collection. That's going to do it, folks. That is the record stack for this video. Like I said, wasn't a lot of records, but I haven't really been digging all that much. I do miss going to big record stores and just digging for hours. I miss going to concerts. I miss going to a bar and watching a local live band. Or hell, my band hasn't done a show since February. That was the last time we did a public performance. And now that we have a record out, it'd be nice to play local shows so we can promote the single. But we're not able to do that right now. Like a lot of bands, we're just sort of just sitting, twiddling our thumbs, just waiting for the go-ahead to do live performances again. But anyway, hopefully it'll come back soon, but I don't know. I don't know the way things are. I don't think we're going to play I'm pretty much positive we're not going to play a show this year. The next show we will play had to be in 2021, and let's hope that's at least in the springtime. But we'll see. I'm no medical expert. I don't know, but that's just my guess. Anyway, I hope you're all staying safe. Please leave me some comments so we can have a conversation, chatter. I miss the interaction with you guys. That's always my favorite part of the videos. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the comments. Bye-bye.